The reason why I did these two, I can call them sets, because we have this first set and this other one. It's because I wanted us to see how it pinches between a leaf and the other, so you can see how it pinches between them. Hello my viewer, welcome back to Kids Crochet, and today I'm back with another stitch. It is called a leaf stitch or pattern, and this is how it looks like. I've already done this one with color orange, and I did two sets of the leaves. This is the first one and the second one, and the reason why I did it this way, it's because I wanted us to see how it pinches in between here, between one lower leaf and the other upper leaf. So now we are going to be working on this today. So we need a crochet hook, which I'm using number 3.5, and yarn I'm using color yellow of Robin Small, using it on 2 strands because I find one strand too thin, and I like working with thick yarn. So to start this, we need to make a chain. We make a slip knot, and now we chain 20. So let's start this. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. So here is the chain. Now to start our first row of this stitch, we need to skip the first 4 chains from the hook. So we skip 1 2 3 4, and on the 5th we do a normal double crochet. 1 2 3 4, and here we do a normal double crochet. In the next we do a double crochet. In the next, double crochet. So basically in this row we shall be performing double crochets to the end of the row. So continue doing this, and I see you at the end of this row. So now I'm at the end of this row, done my double crochets, and at the end of this row you should be having 17 double crochets. So now we want to start performing the stitch. Now this is the wrong side, and that is where the stitch begins. So now we chain 3, and we do 3 front post double crochets. So in the first 3 double crochets, do front posts, and this is how to do it. You go behind that stitch and pick up yarn and finish a double crochet. So again in the next 2 stitches you do the same. In the next stitch the same thing. So now I have 3 finished front post double crochets, and now we want to begin the pattern here. So now in the next stitch we are going to do 2 back posts in the same stitch. In this one stitch we do 2 back posts separated by chain 1. So we are working from that stitch on the other side, the opposite of the front post. That is 1, which is done. Chain 1, and in the same stitch you make another back posts, double crochet. So now you can see we have a V there, 2 back posts, double crochets in the same stitch, separated by chain 1. So let's continue 3 front posts, double crochets in each of the next 3 stitches. That is 2 and 3. In the next stitch, which is this, we do a back post, double crochet, just a normal one. In the next 3 stitches, we do front post, double crochets, 2. This is the second one. And now the third one. We have 3 of them. Again, we want to make this V in the next stitch. So we do a back post, 2 back posts in this stitch, separated by chain 1. So there is the first back post, chain 1 in the same stitch. It might be tricky, so I'm taking it slow so that you can get. Now there is the V stitch, and in the last 3 double crochets, perform 3 front posts, double crochets. And now we are left with 1 stitch, which was the chains that we skipped in our first row. So we do a normal double crochet on top of the 3rd chain. So that is it for this row. So now to turn, we need to chain 3 and turn our work, which is now the right side, and we want to start increasing on this pattern. As you can see, it started here and it goes on increasing. So now we want to increase it. So in the first 3 stitches, we performed front post from this side, but now from this side, it's back posts. So what we did on the other side, when we come to this side, we shall be doing the opposite. We did front post this side, we are now doing back post here. So do 3 back posts on the same stitches. There are 3, so you do 3 back posts. We have them there. Now we have the V stitch that we created. We do front posts in that stitch. In the space chain that we did, we make 1 double crochet, chain 1 and another double crochet there. In this other stitch, the previous V stitch, we do a front post as we did with this first one. So now we want to the stitch to start growing outwardly. In the next stitch, we have 3 back posts. We do the same as we did in the beginning. This is the second and the third. We have this 1 front post. In all through this tutorial, this we shall be doing it as it is. On this side front post, on the other side back post, all through this. In the next stitch we have 3 back posts, so we do the same, 3 back posts. Now we have come to the V-stitch. We shall be doing it as we did here. Front post to this stitch. In the chain 1 space here, we do a double crochet, chain 1 and another double crochet in the same stitch. And now we have this one, we do a front post. And to finish this row, we need to do the remaining rows of back posts, 3 of them. And now the last one is the chain 3. You need not to forget this, because once you forget this, it starts coming together, pinching in. So we do a double crochet there. And our pattern has already started forming. So in the next stitch, in the next row, we chain 3 and turn our work. Now we are going to be doing front posts because they appear as so on this side. So 3 double crochets front posts. You do 3 of them. And now our pattern from this side, we shall be doing back posts on that pattern. So in the next stitch, do a back post. In the next stitch, a back post. And now we are at the chain 1 space. We do a 1 double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet in the same space. In the next 2 stitches, 2 back posts on each. We have 3 double crochets. We do 3 double crochets. This is the third one. Now we have this back post here, which I told you from the previous row. We just perform back posts, 3 front post double crochets, we have our pattern here, our leaf. We now do back posts, double crochet, another back post, double crochet. We come to the chain 1 space, do a double crochet there, chain 1 and another double crochet. We have these 2 stitches, we do them as back posts. And in the next stitches we have 3 front post double crochets. And then the very last stitch, which is our chain, we do a double crochet, chain 3 and turn your work. You can see now the pattern has already started forming. So we continue following the stitch as it is. Back posts. Where there is back posts, you do back posts. Where there is front post, you do front posts. And the pattern continues even on the leaf. So when we come to the leaf from this side now, it is front post. So we do one front post, second front post, and third front post. Now we have reached the chain 1. In that chain, do 1 double crochet, chain 1, another 1 double crochet. The next stitch, 1 front post, in the next front post, and in the next front post. You can see how it is increasing. The reason why it is going outward, it's because we are increasing in this chain 1 space. We are putting 2 double crochets in that space, and that's why it increases outwardly. So in the next 3 stitches, do back posts, double crochets, in the next stitch, which is a front post, just do 1 front post. In the next 3 stitches, do back posts, double crochets, and now in the pattern stitch we do front post in that stitch, front post again in that stitch, another front post, and now we increase in the chain 1 here, double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet, in the next stitch front post, front post in the next, and lastly in that stitch front post, and in the last 3 stitches we do back posts. We do 3 back posts, we are left with 1 stitch, the chain stitch, so we do a double crochet there, and that row is done. So you realize that as you continue your increases, now the stitch starts going outward, not as we started, but now it's going outward this way. So now we repeat this process. We have done 1, 2, 3, and now we need to do 5 rounds. So we need another 2 rounds, 1, 2, 3. We repeat until we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You repeat this same process until we have 5 rounds, which will be at this point. Now after this point, now we start narrowing it to finish that leaf. So continue 2 more stitches or 2 rounds, and I meet you at this point. So now I'm back with my finished 5 rows. I did 2 more rows from where I left. So now if you followed my number of stitches and my pattern, by the end of this 5th row, where we started from where we started our pattern, this leaf should have 12 double crochets that is front posts, 6 on this side, chain 1 and 6 on the other side, and that should be the same case with this other leaf. So now from here we want to start narrowing our leaf. Now if you remember, for this leaf to go outward, we were increasing at the middle where we were doing 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And now for it to start narrowing again, we need to be doing our decreases in the beginning of this side and at the end of this other side so that it narrows up. So let's do that. I just hope you have done up to this point. So chain 3 and turn your work. This will not change. We shall continue doing front posts here. Do 3 of them. And now we start the decrease. Now from here we should do back posts. So from this side we are going to pinch 2, or we are going to do decrease in these 2 stitches. That means we shall perform them together. So now let's do a decrease, and this is how to do 2 stitches together. In this case it's double crochet, yarn over, do a back post in the first stitch. Now you have 3 loops. We are going to go through the first 2 loops, and just before we finish that stitch again we go back in the second stitch. Now we have 4 loops. Go through the first 2 and now they finish your stitches. Now these 2 stitches have become 1. Now in the next stitch do 1 back post, in the next one 1 back post, in the next back post, in the next one back post, and now we are at the center where we were doing our 2 double crochets in this stitch. Now we shall not do the same because we want to decrease our work. We continue with back posts. So continue doing your back posts until you are left with these 2 last stitches. So do your back posts. And now I have my 2 last stitches which I'm going to do a decrease. And now they are 1. So let's continue. In the next stitches we work as they are: 3 double crochets, 1 back post, 3 front post double crochets. So I've done that. Now we are again at the pattern stitch. We do a decrease in the first 2 stitches. It becomes now 1 stitch. Work back post double crochets in the rest of the stitches until you get to the second last stitch of this row where we shall be doing our decrease. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you are new here. Give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. I'm left with 2 stitches, so I'm going to do a decrease there. Now it becomes 1, and now I finish this row just following the pattern that is already there. Most of this doesn't change. The last stitch we do a double crochet, chain 3 and turn your work. Now it has started coming in the inside, so now let's continue. We do 3 back posts in the first 3 stitches. In the next 2 stitches, we have already now joined this. It has already become 1, so we count it as 1. So in this and this next stitch, we do a decrease. Now again that has become 1. Continue doing front posts until the last 2 stitches, where we shall be doing our decreases. So now to finish this pattern, we shall be doing decreases in every row, in the beginning and in the last stitches of this pattern. I'm left with 2 stitches. This has already become 1, so I do a decrease on that. Like that. In the next 3, I do back posts. We do a front post, 3 back posts, and now we need to do a decrease. We do a decrease in the beginning of this. Continue doing front posts, double crochets, until you are left with 2 last stitches of this row, where we do our decreases. I'm on the last 2 stitches, so I decrease there by bringing 2 stitches together and making them 1. So you can see from here we had 1, 2, 3. When we decreased the first 2, they became 1, and now we have joined these 3 and they have become 1 stitch. The reason why it is now coming together. So finish this row by doing 3 back post double crochets. The last stitch, do a double crochet, chain 3 and turn, and so this continues throughout this stitch. Continue doing your decreases in the beginning. You join 2 stitches to become 1. In the last 2 stitches, you join them to become 1, and even on the other side. And now meet you at this point to show you how to finish this. So now I've done all the decreases, and now here I have one stitch. So now we need to do 2 more rows so that this is completely done. Once you are done with the decreases, you do 2 more rows, just following the patterns to complete this. So now this works as one double crochet back post. You continue all the way, following the stitches and the pattern. Again here we perform this as one stitch because our decreases are done. I'm at the end of this row. I finish with a double crochet on that chain 3, chain 3, and do another 1 row just to make sure this pattern is completely done. As you can see here, after you finish doing your decreases, you do other 2 more rows to have this gap between this leaf and the upper leaf. So do 1 more row and I meet you at the end of that. So now I did the last row and now my pattern is done. This is it. So if you want to continue with the second part of this leaf, you just continue by doing what we started with. Remember, we started by 2 double crochets which were back posts in the same stitch, and we just continue following the same process, the same pattern for this upper part. If you want another one, you continue the same, and that is it for this stitch or pattern. This is the wrong side. You can see how it comes to pinch here. This is the right side. So with this pattern you can make everything that you want. It can make a very nice scarf or neck warmer. It comes out nicely with hats. You can also do blankets and bed covers with this stitch. It really comes out very nicely. So thank you for viewing this to the end. I hope you just subscribed after this. Give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. Thank you for now and goodbye.